Hey folks, welcome to another episode of Andrew's Life. On this video, I will be driving through the city of Owensboro, Kentucky. Now, Owensboro, Kentucky is located kind of on the northwest part of Kentucky. It is 47 minutes south of Evansville, Indiana. It is an hour and 8 minutes south of Bowling Green, Kentucky. And for larger cities, it's about a couple of hours away from Nashville, Tennessee, and Louisville, Kentucky for larger cities. Well, I would say from Louisville, it's more like a few hours away. So those are your closest larger cities to Owensboro, Kentucky. Now, Owensboro, Kentucky has got a population of 60,344 people, and the population has grown by a rate of 4% as of the 2020 census. And the median home price is $147,000, which is actually slightly lower than many other parts of Kentucky that I've driven through and done videos on. It's definitely a lot cheaper than anywhere in Tennessee. Now, I would say if you're looking to purchase a home in Owensboro, if you have at least $100,000 to spend on a house, that should be enough to be able to purchase something half decent. Now, with that being said, $100,000 is not going to get you anything special. I mean, for 100 grand, we're talking about a basic single family home with maybe, I don't know, 6 to 7,000 square foot yard. So we're not talking nothing special for $100,000. We're just talking about something basic that's not going to be in the hood. Now, of course, if you don't mind being in the hood, there are some houses here in this city that are cheaper, that are currently up for sale. If you don't mind being in the hood, or if you don't mind purchasing a fixer-upper. Okay, now as far as it goes for crime, let's see, I gotta look at my notes here. When it comes to violent crime, the violent crime rate is below national average. Now, your property crime is 60% above the national average, which, as I would always say, those may not be the best numbers in the world when it comes to property crime. However, there are places out here that are of this size and even much smaller that have a property crime rate double and triple those numbers. So let's see what else. Climate. Let's look at the climate. I mean, typically when I do these videos, I typically have a healthy idea what the climate is. But let's look at the climate of Owensboro. Okay, in Owensboro, Kentucky, you get 45 inches of rain per year, which is 6 inches above the national average. You get 7 inches of snow, which, if you're like me and you grew up in the Midwest, 7 inches of snow is not a huge deal. I mean, I know there's a lot of you folks out here that would love to not have snow at all, but If you get 7 inches of snow a year and that's all you get, that's definitely not the worst thing in the world. Especially if you're moving here from, I don't know, from Buffalo or something crazy, where they get 10 times that amount of snow a year. Or even from Cleveland, Ohio, or somewhere in that region of the country where, again, you get triple or quadruple that amount of snow a year. I mean, even in mid-Indiana, you know, where I used to live, you know, on average, we got close to triple that amount of snow. So to get 7 inches of snow a year really is no big deal. Okay, winter lows are going to be 25 degrees on average, of course. Summer highs are going to be 89. So I would say when it comes to the overall climate here in Owensboro, the climate here is very identical to, oh, I forgot to mention, you get 202 days of sun per year, which is only a few days below the national average of sunlight per year. You get 202, which is, again, I know a lot of you that would like way more days of sunlight than that. But again, if you're coming from a region of the country to where you get maybe 150 days a year of sun, then to have those extra 50 some odd days a year of sun will be nice. So basically, for the most part, Owensboro, Kentucky has weather conditions that are similar to most other parts of Kentucky. You know, real similar to the weather in the lower Midwest, such as southern Ohio, southern Indiana, southern Illinois, and parts of Missouri. Let's see. And let's see. Let's look at the racial makeup of the city. Oh man, my computer's giving me problems here, people. Just bear with me for a second. Okay, here we go. You got 84.3% white, 6.7% black, 1.8% Asian, and 3.7% Hispanic. Alright, if you want to live in Owensboro, like I told you before, if you want anything that's half decent, then plan to pay at least $100,000 for a house. However, the median home price here is at $147,000. I think I already read that, but if I didn't, there you go. Now, if you're looking just to pay rent, however, rent prices aren't too bad. They're actually lower than many other places I've looked at the last few days. Your median rent prices are going to go from $575 to $1,105 a month. So those aren't too bad, taking into consideration what many other areas are charging, even here in the state of Kentucky. Now here's a little bit of here's some more general information about Owensboro. Now Owensboro is the 4th largest city in the state of Kentucky. And interestingly, someone put Owensboro as one of the fastest growing cities in Kentucky, which, I mean, I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, when I look at the fact that the city has only grown by 4%, 4% is not anything impressive, but whatever. Now, to me, Owensboro, Kentucky reminds me a lot of Anderson, Indiana. If you don't know what Anderson, Indiana looks like, feel free to jump on this channel and go watch my videos that I made of Anderson, Indiana. I made plenty of them. In fact, I made 2 videos of an hour and a half long a piece. Well, close to an hour and a half long a piece of Anderson, Indiana. I want to say I made those videos about a week and a half or so ago, so feel free to go back to those videos. But when I came through Owensboro, Kentucky, and I recorded this video, I mean, to me, this city reminds me a lot of Anderson. I mean, I would say take Anderson, Indiana, put a few hills in the city, and for the most part, you got Owensboro. Now, I will say some of the main and also when it comes to the industrial era, Owensboro, Kentucky does have a very similar past when it comes to the industrial era as Anderson. Now, I will say some of the main differences between Owensboro and Anderson is, as we're over the last 30 years, Anderson has lost about 25% of its population, roughly speaking. Owensboro, on the other hand, has gained people. Like, let me look up something real quick, give you guys some specific numbers. I'm just curious here. Owensboro, Kentucky, Wikipedia. Okay, as of we'll start with 1970. In 1970, Owensboro gained 32.8%. 1980, they gained 2.2%. 1990, they gained 5.1%. In 2000, they actually lost people, but they only lost 0.2%, so they barely lost people. 2010 census, they gained 2.8%, and in 2020, they gained 4.1%. Now let's compare that to Anderson, Indiana, because this city reminds me a lot of Anderson, Indiana. So just for curiosity, we're going to do a quick comparison of the two when it comes to the demographics. Let's see here. Anderson, Indiana, Wikipedia. Okay. Again, we'll start with 1970. Now, in 1970, Anderson gained 44% of its population. In 1980, the city lost 8.6%. In 1990, it lost another 8.1%. In 2000, it gained people. It didn't gain much. It only gained 0.5%. And then in 2010, it lost 6%. And in the latest 2020 census, it lost 2.4%. So one of the big differences between Anderson and Owensboro is Owensboro has been gaining people. I mean, not anything substantial, but they've been gaining people, as where Anderson has been losing people. And the population of Anderson is, just off the top of my head, I'm going to say it's about 55,000 people. No, the population is a little over 56,000 people in Anderson. Let's look at the Owensboro Kentucky population. Refresh my mind here. The population of Owensboro is a little over 60,000 people. So Owensboro, Kentucky is a little larger than Anderson. It's larger than Anderson by about 4,000 people, give or take. But I would say for the most part, like I said, Owensboro, Kentucky reminds me a lot of Anderson. Just the setup of the city, it's almost like I'm driving through Anderson. Like I said, take Anderson, throw in some rolling hills here and there, and it feel like I was here in Owensboro. Now, I will say another difference between Anderson and Owensboro, however, is Owensboro has about double the population density compared to Anderson. The population density of Owensboro is 3,000 people per square mile, as where the population of Anderson is a little less than 1,300 people per square mile. So really, Owensboro has over double the population density compared to Anderson, Indiana. And another difference between Owensboro and Anderson is Anderson, Indiana is a tad bit more diverse. Like the black population in Anderson is double compared to Owensboro. And off the top of my head, I would say the population of Hispanics is also about double in Anderson than it is here in Owensboro. So I would say those are some of the largest differences between here and Anderson, Indiana. And I would say honestly, Owensboro would be, in my opinion, Owensboro is not a bad place, does not appear to be a bad place to live. Now, I would say the main disadvantage of living in Owensboro, for those of you that work a 9-to-5 storefront type of job, if you move here to Owensboro, oh, no, one more thing. I will say when it comes to the housing prices here in Owensboro, I would say the housing prices here are, well, you know what? I would say compared to Anderson, Indiana, housing prices here are going to be a tad bit more expensive. And I would say one of the disadvantages of living here in Owensboro, for those of you that work a storefront 9-to-5, is the fact that the economy in this part of Kentucky is not the largest, and some of your surrounding cities are not going to have the largest economy because the population in the cities are not that high. Like you go to Evansville, which is 47 minutes from here. Evansville is not that large. It's not like a Fort Wayne or Indianapolis. But Evansville is going to be your largest city, closest to Owensboro. And then an hour from here, going south, you got Bowling Green. And again, I mean, Bowling Green does have jobs, just like Evansville, Indiana has jobs. And I'm pretty sure there's plenty of opportunities right about now available for those who are out here seeking them. However, the economy in Bowling Green is not going to be that big because the population in Bowling Green is only 70-some thousand people. I mean, when it comes to being close to a larger city, the closest larger city to here is going to be Nashville, which is 2 hours away. And I don't know too many people that are going to be driving 2 hours each way to go to work. With the cost of fuel, many people wouldn't even be able to afford to drive like that, let alone the time, the wear and tear on the car, and all that good stuff. So I would say this is one of those type of places that before you move here, at the bare minimum, make sure you got some type of employment already lined up and ready to go. Rather it be a storefront 9 to 5, or rather it be something that you're doing from your home online. Have something lined up and ready to go before you come here to Owensboro to reside. That would be my suggestion if you're going to move here. So yeah, I would say that would be another major difference between here and Anderson, because up in Anderson, you're a lot closer to larger cities like Indianapolis, and within a half hour of Anderson, you also have all your northern suburbs in Hamilton County. As we're here in Owensboro, you don't have all that. So therefore, the economy here is going to be significantly smaller compared to Anderson. So I would say that would be another major difference between here and Anderson. Now, if you're wanting to live here in Owensboro, since we were talking about employment and economies a second ago, now some of the largest employers here in Owensboro will be Owensboro Health, Sazerac Distilleries, Specialty Food Group, Metalsa, that's METALSA, Structural Product Incorporated, and then there's UniFirst, and then there's a East Asian company that they make dressing and sauces authentic to their culture. I can't properly pronounce the name, but I'm gonna take a guess at it. It's Mizkan. That's MIZKAN. So those are the largest companies in Owensboro, Kentucky. Now on to some other information about this city. Now this city is known as barbecue capital, believe it or not. I always thought barbecue capital belonged to Kansas City, Missouri, but here in Owensboro, they hold a international barbecue festival and competition every second week of May. So I guess that's their own little version of Memphis in May, except they don't do it every week like they do in Memphis. They do it only once a week. I mean, they only do it one time in a week. So every second week in May, you can come down here and enjoy you some barbecue. And also this city does host a fair amount of festivals too. I mean, it seems like during the warmer months, this city could be a relatively fun place to come and visit. And if you choose to move here, it could be a fun place during the warmer months, because it seems like almost every week they're holding some type of a festival. Like, you got the Lanham Brothers Jamboree, which is held every second Saturday from April to September at the Diamond Lake Resort Theater. And they have an event called Friday After 5, which is held during the warmer months of the year. It is held for held for 16 weeks, and basically it's a series of outdoor concerts on the downtown riverfront. They also have the Pumpkin Fest, which is held in the month of September at the Sportsman Complex. And this city is apparently home of many professional athletes. Many professional athletes grew up here. And as far as a few extra things to get into here, you have a choice of at least 4 different parks you can go to and exercise or relax or walk around, do whatever. You have the Bluegrass Music Hall of Fame and Museum. And I think I said this earlier, but you got the Green River Distilling Company. You got the Preservation Station Market and Event Center. You also got the Owensboro Museum of Fine Arts, and they also have a Science and History Museum as well. And for those of you that don't know exactly where Owensboro, Kentucky is located, as you guys, for those of you that have been following me for even a couple of weeks, for those of you that have been following me for at least a month, you saw my video of me driving through downtown Owensboro over the Ohio River and into Indiana. But in the event that you did not see that video, Owensboro, Kentucky is located right by the Ohio River, as you guys will see later in this video, most likely. I think I have it in this video. As you guys will see, this city is right by the Ohio River. And there's like a bridge that connects Owensboro, Kentucky and in southern Indiana. So this city is right by the Ohio River. Now you guys know that, just in case you guys didn't know that before. And in my opinion, now I will say one thing about this city, which is also different compared to Anderson, Indiana. I think Owensboro has a nicer downtown than Anderson. I'm gonna add that too. So, in a little bit here, you guys will get to see downtown Owensboro, and when you do, at least in my opinion, I think Owensboro does have a nice downtown. But yeah, I would, and just like you guys, and as you guys learned a little bit ago when I was reading off the climate here, typically, city has typical Northwest Kentucky / lower Midwest type of climate. Obviously, it does get cold here. At times, it can get very cold. And obviously, it's not going to be Wisconsin or Minnesota cold. You're not going to get Cleveland, Ohio snow. It ain't going to be nothing that crazy. But it does get cold here. So I would say if you don't mind a little bit of colder weather and a little bit of snow, and provided that you have some type of employment opportunities lined up before you get here. I mean, this city, in my opinion, could be a solid choice for someone. Now, that blue bridge you saw just a second ago before I turned down on this street, that was the bridge that crosses over the Ohio River into Indiana. But yeah, as far as anything bad to say about this city, I don't really have anything bad to say about this city. Now, I'm going to go on my little computer here, and I'm going to see what type of crimes have happened in this city recently that I have access to reading. So it's going to be silent for a minute or two while I look up that piece of information for you guys. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, they want me to go back here. Okay, I can read you guys some of this because they want me to download their website, and I'm not doing it at this particular moment. But this is from Newsbreak. Apparently, there's been a couple of juveniles that were found to be in possession of some guns, according to the Owensboro Police Department. 2 juveniles facing gun possession charges after officers respond to a business check. So I'm going to assume that, let's see if they tell me any more down here. Okay, the Owensboro Police Department arrested 2 juveniles in the 311 block of Highland Point Drive on Monday, including 1 juvenile. And we're talking today. So yeah, we're talking today. This story came out 2 hours ago, including 1 juvenile who was previously charged with abuse of a teacher. According to a release from a Owensboro Police Department, from the Owensboro Police Department, officers located the 2 juveniles while conducting business checks just before midnight. So this happened, I guess, last night. Officers say that juveniles were near unattended vehicles, and it was determined they did not have permission to be on that property. Both juveniles were charged with criminal trespassing and possession of a handgun by a minor. One of the juveniles had previously been charged with abuse of a teacher, assault, criminal mischief, and shoplifting. That same juvenile was also charged with the possession of marijuana and drug paraphernalia on Monday. The other juvenile had previously been charged with endangerment and possession of a handgun by a minor. See if I can get any more stories here. Okay, well, this other story is out of Henderson, Kentucky. Which I'm assuming, well, it's close to It's close to Owensboro, I'm assuming. Okay, I'm gonna read this story anyways. This is out of Henderson, Kentucky. The Owensboro Police Department arrested and charged a juvenile who was allegedly found with a handgun and knife on Owensboro Middle School property. Okay, it isn't Owensboro because it's on the Owensboro School property. School officers and the Owensboro Police Department school resource officers were able to recover the loaded firearm and a knife from juveniles. Man, these people will be off the chain. I mean, back in the day, if kids had an issue, you knuckled up and you fought. Nowadays, these kids out here, man, they be bringing guns and knives to school, shooting up everybody. All right, the juvenile was lodged in the Adair, Adair County Juvenile Detention Center, and is charged with possession of a handgun by a minor and unlawful possession of a weapon on school property. Man, you guys gotta be careful out there, because you got the youngins that be out here bringing guns and knives to school. I mean, it's almost like these kids done forgot. It's almost like these kids have no home training. Like, rather than talking stuff through, rather than talking stuff out with whomever they got an issue with, rather than even knuckling up and having an honest man-to-man fight, you got these kids out here now, man, they want to bring guns and knives to school. Let's see what story I got. Okay, that's Owensboro. I'm looking, people. Alright, folks, that's all I got for now. And that will conclude my commentary on this video. So I'm gonna let you guys watch the rest of the video. And by the way, what you guys are looking at in front of you, I mean, though, like behind, like again, there's the bridge to the Ohio River. Alright, folks, that concludes my commentary. So I'm gonna let you guys watch the rest of the video. As always, I thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Andrew's Life. And remember, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, leave comments below, and you guys have a blessed one, and I will see you on the next one.